What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? And it's a few minutes early, but I'm gonna go ahead and start chit chatting with you simply because I need to first and foremost say happy Saturday to everybody. And I want everybody to know that today's primetime episode serves a threefold purpose. Let me just go ahead and say that what I'm learning entering this industry is that there are a lot of individuals out here who put on facades and proclaim to be someone whom they're not. Oh my gosh. Yeah, people still doing that in 2020. But what I will say is that because someone attempted to deceive me, it connected me to a powerhouse, a 20 plus year veteran in the industry, an individual who seemingly has created, oh my gosh, so many relationships. But not only has he created so many relationships, he is a music exec. He's an A&R. He's a manager. He a DJ, a record producer, film producer. Let me tell you something. He does it all. And the interesting thing is, he has been hailed the trap ambassador. And when I tell you who he's been hailed by the trap ambassador by, y'all gonna be like, what in the let me just throw these out there. Future, Gucci Man, OJ the Juice Man, y'all don't want it. Y'all really don't want it. But you know what? Let me just go on and bring him on because he is he's a spectacular guy. And so what I'm gonna do, I am going to, y'all know I had to play y'all some music. So I'm gonna play you a little bit of music so that he can get prepared because the energy that he's bringing is dope. And I think you're going to learn a lot today from this gentleman. He literally is, he's a brother. He's a brother, and that's all I can say. He's a brother. And so what I want to do is I want you to hear a beat, and then we're going to bring him on. You know what? Now, without further ado, I present to you Mr. Roland Williams. What?
Hey, what's going on, sis?
How are you?
I'm doing fabulous. Glad to be here with you.
Yeah, and I'm excited. I'm so excited you're here with me too. So look, tell the people who you are. I told them a little bit about who you are, but you tell the people who you are, and then we're gonna jump in and really have a conscious conversation.
All right, that's what's up. Well, I go by Ro. My real name is Roland Williams. Everybody call me Digital Dope, Digital. I've been a day one with Zaytoven. That's probably like my most noticed client in the industry to this point. So, we've been working about 16 years. And I also manage the top female DJ in the country too, DJ Roots Queen. So yeah, I mean, I have a pretty good catalog of clients. Those are my top two clients right there. And yeah, we just real happy to be working, real happy to have such a lengthy career in the industry too as well.
Wow. So all right, Roland. So Ro, Ro.
Yeah.
You know, look, I want to be like Roland. Let's go back though, because before this industry, you were already making noise in a sports arena.
Correct, correct. Yeah,
So talk to me a little bit about how that even happened. Because see, you know me. Everybody wants to know about the glitz and the glam. They want the gossip. But
they
I
do.
want to know the real authenticity of who you are and really the struggle and how you got to this point because that's what truly makes and defines who you are.
Definitely, I definitely feel that way. I'll go ahead and give you a short version. So my first exposure to entertainers, period, was Deion Sanders at an early age. My aunt was Deion Sanders' assistant. So 15, 16 years old, I had already saw Dion intertwining with Snoop Dogg and Ice Cube, on a personal level, and just like coming, anytime those guys coming to Atlanta, Dion was their host. So even though I didn't see a lot of it, but I feel like, experiences will change your path. Just a slight meeting of an Ice Cube and a Snoop Dogg in those early years, I feel like it kind of gives you an extra edge later on. You might not realize it for another 15 years or something like that, but that would be my start. That would be my exposure, just being around those guys and trying to see how they work at an early age.
Okay.
For me, several years later, I ended up down the road working for DJ Jelly and Big One Records, which was they were the top label in the '90s and the 2000s, and still are very prominent in the city. But that was during the mixtape eras, and so how that was a global movement for several years. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, definitely. From then, around the same time, actually, running together, I ended up working for Evander Holyfield for 5 years too. So that right there kind of just like pushed me over the edge to where like I was able to see different things that normal people weren't able to see. So it kind of just like pushed me to like, okay, I need to get here, or the ceiling was a lot higher at that point.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
so everything kind of just ran together. Right after that, I went on with Zaytoven Beatz, so it was just like it was nonstop really for about 10 years.
And for the people that don't know who Zaytoven is, tell us who Zaytoven is. Just for the churn that might not understand who Zaytoven is.
All right, well, Zaytoven is the trap god. He has basically shaped the whole entire sound of Atlanta and the world through his music since the first release of So Icy. And if you'll remember, Zaytoven discovered Gucci Man,
There you
was
go.
in working with Gucci Man. So Icy was the first song for Young Jeezy too. So I mean that song right there just created a whole the new pattern for Atlanta, the new pattern for I'm taking the producer serious. So he's one of the first producers that you saw doing walkthroughs, you saw doing shows. Before that, you really didn't see that type of energy, you didn't see that type of movement. But he's just a different being. From day one, he's never used a single sample. He plays by ear. Everything is from scratch with this guy. So it's like, I mean, it's an amazing work ethic. That's all I can say about him.
Wow. So, Roland, this is the thing though. You know, and shout out to Zaytoven. He is definitely a dope individual. But I think where I am today, you you're an A&R, and I want to talk about that. Um, but you're also a master producer, and you're also a redefiner of the culture.
Thank you,
So
thank you.
how do you okay, how number one, y'all need to understand who this is because he's not only is he a man with the plan, but he's a developer. And not a developer as in he going out here, developing artists. He is a entrepreneurial developer, meaning he invests in commercial and residential. So don't get it twisted because I think sometimes we have this connotation that just because you're in the music industry, that's all you're doing. I think it's
Right.
important to understand that he lives a philosophy where multiple streams of income are important and significant, even in his passion. He understands that his passion alone is not enough. And I think that that's the thing that I love that you present. And you talk about your business ventures, in my opinion, more than you talk about the music and the accolades, because he has the accolades. But we're gonna get there. So, role as the A&R. What does role as the A&R look like? What does that process look like? Because from what I heard from someone, we were talking and they were like, well, A&Rs are da 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 da, and they don't do this and they don't do that. And, so for a long time, I was like, well, what do you need A&R for? Talk to us a little bit about
Right.
this, though.
Yeah, it's a touchy subject for me, definitely, because I know there's a lot of artists, a lot of mainstream artists
Hmm.
that more on the hip hop side that kind of like dog out and always saying something smart about A&Rs. But you will say this, I mean, that's like anything with artists, with producers, with DJs, with A&Rs. You're gonna have good ones and you're gonna have bad ones. So it really is an industry of trial and error a lot of times, because you don't know who you are getting ready to do business with, and you can sit and I mean, even bad experiences with A&Rs could create some type of new opportunity. You know what I mean? But that's kind of what happens. I mean, for me, as A&R for Familiar Territory Records, which is the label that Zaytoven, myself, Al Nuke, and our attorney Carl Washington, we started back in 2005.
Okay.
We come a little bit differently because we have a producer, so we're constantly seeking, new, to get, in the early days of Zaytoven, I just remember I'll just put a couple like notable times when I just like went out and I was like, hey, look, I want Zaytoven to be working with this artist or that artist.
Okay.
One for instance would be Applies, where it's like I really literally was pulling up on Plies and Slip and Slide at every concert, at every show in Atlanta, going in
Oh,
with the entourage and stuff like that, just kind of networking. So it's like, you never know how it's going to look. I mean, it was like a year and a half, almost 2 years before we actually put any music out with Plies at the time. So it's like, sometimes you have to, as an A&R, you're putting a thought in somebody's head, maybe Big Gates saw, or heard, uh, music then, and sometimes people have to keep seeing it to be like, oh, you know what, we do
okay.
need to do some records with Zaytoven. But I mean, that's been all through. I mean, and he does a lot as an A&R. A lot of people don't know that Nicki Minaj started in Zaytoven's studio. I remember these people, Nicki
Hello,
Minaj,
somebody.
Yo Gotti, all of these guys recording for the first time in that studio, and he's a very humble guy. He doesn't really talk about it, and that's a good quality, because that's allowed us to just kind of keep going no matter what. We get, you have a artist that comes through, and then the next thing you know, you're just like, they're a Nicki Minaj, you know what I'm saying, or they're a Gucci Man, and they're, it's somebody who's just right in your house studio. So that, and so all throughout, we're just always seeking what our talent needs to be, who he needs to be working with next, or what type of projects that we need to be putting out every day. I mean, we've already been on the phone this morning, scheduling another record just today, and it's not even 1 o'clock. So that's the work ethic in dealing with Zaytoven, because every day is a lot of work. He's working every day.
And I want to, and you know what, I want to plug that because that's something that I know, we talked about extensively, and I even got to watch you in action. Your phone is going off all the time. You're producing shows for, shout out to my girl Roots Queen and Rude Girl Radio.
Definitely,
Oh my God. But your phone is going
definitely
off. You're producing,
amazing.
supporting her with shows. You're producing your own stuff. You got your business ventures over here. Well, like when do you rest?
I mean, I really be on. I'm on about 3 or 4 hours of sleep a night, similar to a Puff Daddy. And it's by choice. I rest when I feel like resting, but most of the time I feel like working.
Ooh, I rest when I feel like resting, but most of the time I feel like working. And because of that, your brand is so successful, and or shall I say your brands, because you're not just one entity. All right, now
Definitely.
let's talk artist development, because I think that that's one of the things I think people need to understand.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, you guys don't just pick up anybody,
Mm-mm.
and it takes a long time for you to make a decision regarding what you're gonna do. So
Right.
tell us a little bit about what that looks like. What is it that you particularly look for? And guys, I need you to understand something. Ro isn't just looking for music. He's looking for a sound and the creation thereof and the ability to transform that sound into a myriad of things. So, Ro, talk to us a little bit about what you look for in an artist and even what you look for in a sound.
Mm-hmm. Depending on how I walk up on them,
Mm.
just last night I walked up on a new artist,
Hmm.
blew my mind. I walked on when I walked up on his session, I heard the music, I heard it, and within the first 2 to 3 minutes, I knew this guy is going to be a serious star. Um, we look at everything as far as me being on the management side. A lot of times, I'm the guy that I look at it all 360, because it might be a situation to where Zay likes the sound, but maybe the artist's life is falling apart. It might not be a good situation for him. We might not be able to move him around. It might be on house arrest. I mean, we've had any situation management wise, we've had it. Even though we really only signed our first two artists uh, 2 years ago, we signed Tiffany Blue, which is our first singer, and then we
Hmm.
just recently
Okay.
signed COE Mook. So like before this, we've developed artists, but a lot of times we develop them and just kind of let them go because it might be for a project, like, or kind of like similar what you would see what we did with Bankroll Fresh, guys like that from early
Okay.
on, or
I got you. I got you.
Cassius J, Metro Boomin. Those are guys that came out of Zaytoven studio. Like I would say Cassius J more than Metro, but these are guys that just that's artist development too. Because they are art. I mean, you look at them now; they have artist profiles. Everything is just like an artist. Even Sound Exchange changed their pace, changed their way of paying to where they now also pay artists and producers. Because before, 5 years ago, I mean not SoundCloud. I mean Sound Exchange.
Okay. Okay. Got you. Got you.
So I
Got
mean,
you.
um, with us, we look for that 360. Like we need somebody that's stable that can kind of get it. Because having great music isn't good enough now. You need to be able to talk to people. You need to be able to go out and seek opportunities. And so, there's some artists that we have. They're always calling you. I like that feeling where it's like you wake up in the morning and you're like, okay, I know the artist is gonna be on my ass. Like they gonna start calling me, so I need to start moving. Not they're gonna be 3, 4 o'clock. Because some guys, it's like when we worked with Usher. Usher beat us to the studio every day. He was there 10 o'clock. I'm like, you know, that's and then you wonder, and you know what? A lot of times you gonna notice. I've been noticing that the big major artists, they do stuff that independent artists or artists that are just getting in, they won't do it.
Whoa.
Like,
Yes. Go. Just do it. Just talk, because you know I'm getting fired up right now. You know I'm getting fired up
okay,
because I know where you're going. But go. Just go.
because it's like, I could call a Zaytoven or a Metro Boomin or Cassius J and say, okay, I got this guy at the studio. I got a new guy. They don't even freaking know who this is. I need you to come down to the studio in like the next 30 minutes to an hour. This could be big. I can call an independent, an up and coming producer sometime. I'm not saying all the time, but I call sometimes. They're like, "Oh, who is it? What's their IG page look like?" They want to see the numbers and this and that instead of just trusting and going ahead and getting it. And these guys, that's why they get it so fast. They're able to see these artists before they're all big. Because it's like a lot, the independent guys, what they want to do? Oh, I want a song with Megan Thee Stallion. I want a song with Yo Guy. They don't care now. It's you trying to go. You trying to go to the hard. You trying to go the hardest route. What you need to be doing is keeping your ear to the street. Okay, keeping your ear to the street. See the guy before he blows, because that's the guy that's really going. That's why you're gonna win. You're gonna find amigos. You're gonna see amigos before when they shoes is dusty. That's when you're gonna lock in, and that's why you're gonna be driving a Ferrari, because you saw amigos before. You saw amigos before that, before they are amigos. You can't make it no other way.
Okay, guys, once again, if you're just now checking in, this is Time with your girl Lily Mae, aka SENOJ, and Roland Williams of Familiar Territory Records and Digital Dope Radio. I don't even need to ditto or anything. You just spoke volumes. All I'm gonna say is boom.
Yeah, boom. It should not ever stop. If you are a producer or artist that isn't at the top, the work should never stop. Period. It shouldn't. You can't write 3 days a week. Okay, so if you had a 40-hour work week and you was working at a regular job, a 40-hour work week, compare that to you going into the studio 2 or 3 times a week. That's what your check gonna look the same. That's what your check would, if you was going into your regular job 2 or 3 times a week, what would your check look like? Okay, now compare that on the artist side. It's simple. It's a lot of this stuff is just common sense and regular stuff. Is like, okay, if I work X amount of hours, this is going to happen.
Okay.
Have humility. Have humility on this
Please
situation.
say it one more time.
Okay,
say it one more time. Just say it one more time. Have
humility.
what?
Humility.
Oh. So what I hear you saying is that you have all these accolades. You have 20 plus years experience in the game. You're able to pick up the phone, break bread or not, and make things happen for any independent artist out here. And and guys, let me just explain something to you. I'm not just saying what somebody told me or what I read. I'm saying what I sat in his office and witnessed. So please understand. What I hear you saying, Ro, is that it takes diligence, it takes persistence, and it takes consistency. And you have to always hone your craft.
Definitely. Yeah, there's not. I can sit here and honestly say, in 15 years, 16 years, I think we're on our 16th year. My producers, because I mean, Cassius J is another producer that I helped develop too.
Okay.
I don't know very many days that they did not make a beat that day. If it might just be a situation where we're traveling or something like that, but majority, there's gonna be some hands on some piano somewhere in whatever building we might be passing through a building. They're gonna stop.
Absolutely.
They're gonna stop. So it's like I'm used to that. On the DJ side with Roots Queen, I'm used to seeing DJs work every day. DJ Jelly, I'm not used to seeing him not working every day and moving quick
Okay.
in and out.
Okay.
Busting these gigs up and getting back to the studio.
Wow. All right. So, Ro.
But I think that would be the number one thing. I think that's the number one thing that I could advise. The number one advice I can give an artist is to work do.
All right. He froze for a minute, but hopefully he'll be back. Guys, I don't know if you've been listening, but this is Roland Williams of Familiar Territory Records and Digital Dope Radio.
I'm here.
And he, all right, no problem, no problem. I'm just circling back for them. He has executive produced a plethora of music releases. Um, he's an A&R. He's a producer. He's a business owner. But Ro, I also want you to talk about something else that you do and the importance of that. Tell us a little bit about what digital marketing is and what that looks like, because that's something that you've even been, teaching me, and I'm still learning. But what is it and what does that mean?
Digital marketing is basically putting a science or math, for that
Hmm.
instance, it's science and math, analytics,
Hmm.
um, to take the guesswork out of it. So, and that's what I'm seeing. I think the project that showed me the biggest, I think one of our projects that we did the biggest in on the digital marketing side would have been the A-Team album. I don't know if you checked that out with Lil Key, Lil Yachty, Lil Gotti, and Zaytoven.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
one was just, I mean, the marketing, the digital marketing was just out of the roof. Like, we really used that to our advantage. We ended up going through, I guess, the latter part of, like, when the release was fresh was right
Hmm.
during the coronavirus too. So I mean, we end up going to animated videos.
Okay,
We
okay,
released the animated video with those
okay.
guys. Timing ended up being right because we had actually started working on that before everything happened. But once we saw that that was going to happen and we
Uh-huh.
weren't going to be able to meet in person, we were just like, hey, look, let's go ahead and knock this video out. Uh, but like I said, it's the science behind it, and everybody sees that they can promote their content through IG, through Facebook, and a lot of artists,
Absolutely, absolutely.
sometimes you can get a result without a team as an artist, or not being professionally trained. But this stuff is real serious, real serious. It's more than the team that we have. Some of our team, like, say, we actually enrolled Roots Queen back into digital marketing. She's been doing this for almost, she's been in school for it almost 2 years now. So
What?
that's how much, and that's been almost an everyday thing on top of DJing. But that was something that our company felt was a good investment. It was something that she felt was close to her heart, that she wanted to be able to offer that. She does amazing things as far as with the
She
artists and
does.
content. Their team is really
She
good.
does.
They
Oh.
have actually gotten me to get, I have a degree in Java programming that I got.
Oh.
I went back. Zay sent me
You
back.
be
They sent me back
holding
2 years.
out. You be holding out. See, you know what, guys? It goes back. He practices what he preaches. He talks
You do.
about humility. Now we had a, oh God, 3 hour rap session where we turned up, we talked business, we danced, we acted a fool. We even talked about, education and practical and formal. But you holding out. You didn't even tell me that. But
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
tells me you pride yourself on, may the work I've done speak for me. You know I had to take it old school, like our grandparents. But may the work I've done speak for
Hmm.
me. And
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's what you feel. I feel that in your heart. Like you really spoke that thing. And shout out again to Ruth Queen, because I remember when we were talking and she talked about being in school, and she even told me, look, Lily, Tuesdays hit me up, because the other days it's radio, it's content, it's school. And I get that. I get that. So many people, like you said, they just want to jump out here and do
Hmm.
stuff, and they not really trying to learn. But you have to study to show yourself approved, right? That's what I
Definitely.
was taught in Vacation Bible School and in
Yeah,
Sunday school, and I think we need to apply that to everything.
definitely. Yeah, and the schooling. I will say this: career wise, everything changed for me on my last. I had two previous degrees, but
Uh-huh.
everything changed at that point in my career. It was something that we were, I needed to do, and it
Uh-huh.
created so many opportunities just being in school and seeing different information, and then some stuff that I was doing in school actually coincided with some stuff I needed to do with the label too. It helped my conversation be better because, I mean, the conversations were changing so rapidly. I mean, you're talking about, going business meetings with executives from Walmart or the Gap or various organizations. You gotta have a certain type of talk to be able to close stuff like
That's
that,
it. That's it.
and you have to engage in a lot of conversation before then to be able to to be able to be snappy in conversations like that and be comfortable. You have to have done it a lot. So I just feel like management and people, A&Rs, people behind the scenes, then that's the advice I can give to them is, engage in conversation, get in lots of conversations. Don't waste time.
That's
Don't
it.
just talk
That's
and just be
it.
talking, but talk and say, you know what, and reevaluate what are you doing. I reevaluated myself so many times. I said, okay, why am I not getting noticed doing and I'm doing this? And then I had to stick back and be like, because you ain't doing shit. That's right. I gotta get on this.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Hold up. You're saying, look, let me take it clinical. So what I hear you saying is that you can be busy but not be productive.
Oh, oh, okay.
That's what I hear you saying.
Yeah. That's what I can say. And
Oh,
a lot of times in the past, I would say this. In the past, in the early years, I wanted to get paid by the hour. You want me to say it again?
okay.
You
Yeah.
want me to rewind?
Just one more
I
time. Just
can't.
one more time.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to get paid by the hour or a salary. That'd be good.
Okay.
That'd be good. But you got to make money. I mean, at the end of the week, something got to have happened. You can't just be, especially if you're out here by yourself or like with an independent label or something like that. You can't just be on the hour and on the clock.
Yes.
And every week you talking about, yeah, because I'm gonna tell you, I would say 60 to 70% of, I would say, behind the scenes type jobs, they don't materialize with a lot of labels. They're not gonna materialize with a QC or uh, Grand Hustle and Familiar Territory, because it's like you got to show and prove on this team. We don't just we don't hand out paychecks the same as other people unless it's like something that somebody's doing, like, okay, you're mixing or you're mastering or you're doing graphics or something like that. But on the executive side, you got to kill what you eat.
So now what I hear you saying is you have to hunt.
Yeah, you got to be definitely on the hunt, because and this is the territory. If that's not fitting for you, you might want to go into the medical field or something like that, because this right here, you got, I always advise people to just sit back and look at the scope of things. Look at how many billions and trillions of dollars is
Yes,
involved,
yes.
in revenue is going through. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy.
Woo. Bro, oh my God. We gonna all right. We can go all day. We can go all day, but
We really can. We really
we
can.
can.
Mm-hmm.
We can. But I'm gonna start winding up. But so
No, you
let's
good.
do this. What would you say to? And we're gonna break it down because I need you to give three jewels.
Okay.
What would you say to the independent label owner who is doing everything the right way? His
Mm-hmm.
business is in order. He signed artists and he works effortlessly for artist development. He's providing them with top quality services. But for some reason, because he's too ethical, maybe because he's too ethical, he just can't make it.
The first thing you want three things to help him.
Well, one for
One.
him, and then we're gonna talk about the artist, and then we're
Okay,
gonna talk about
to
entrepreneurs.
help him try something different, because what he's doing isn't working. If it's not if it's not working, then you have to change it up,
Absolutely, absolutely.
because
And I
there's so many
think that
components that could be affecting it. You want to get somebody who can consult. I feel like labels, they should definitely have some type of advisory board, or they should have an advisory board on uh, choosing different resources that they might need, as far as
mm,
like marketing. I feel like they should have a advisory board on the music. Like, don't just everybody who invested in the music, or thought or picked those tracks or picked that artist, they can't be the only people who say, okay, that sounds good or not. You need to have some type of, I would say,
absolutely.
3 to 5 individuals that could make those decisions. So like every component needs to have an expert, because it's just like my attorney. My attorney got hundreds of relationships. So I'm not going to, you want to get an attorney who's got relationships with a lot of people, or else they're going to be meeting new attorneys every time they go
Yep.
meet this artist or meet this label or whatever. The same with the DJs. DJ Roots Queen has been we got DJ Roots Queen, DJ Tank, and DJ Showtime and DJ Savvy are like our label.
Shout
Mhm,
out to Take Showtime and
mhm,
Savage.
right. So we are constantly running stuff by these guys, constantly asking them what's going on in the city. We have other DJ, shout out to Coalition DJs. That's some organization that we work very closely with. Table Manners DJs. That's my organization that I'm a part of. The
Wow.
Midwest. No, I'm sorry. Southwest Alliance, which is our new DJ alliance, which is Denver,
Let me put that out there.
uh, Saint. I'm sorry, Las Vegas,
Okay.
Phoenix, and Dallas. That's like kind of the general, and that's something new that we just started with a buddy of mine, Antonio, DJ Tone, and DJ
Okay.
John Blaze with Icon Radio. So that's something that
Now
we
make
have.
sure I put that out there. Make sure I throw
Yeah,
that out there. Absolutely. Absolutely.
right.
That's important. Okay.
And we do a similar DJ call as the coalition does, like some
Okay.
and Nerve DJs. All the DJ crews are doing, everything. I feel like a lot of the virtual stuff has actually helped connecting with DJs. If I was an
It
artist right
has.
now,
It has. It
we
has.
just did 15 different calls with our new artist, DJ COE Mook. That would cost, if we could travel right now. You know how much that would have cost me?
Come
I've been $30,000, 40,000. So it is a needed break, and I felt like, even you're getting on calls where there's 50 DJs on the Zoom
yeah, yeah,
part,
yeah.
and another 250, 300 people on that. You can't beat that.
Nope. Nope.
This is
Nope.
a much needed time. Artists need to take advantage of whatever is there at the time. A lot of
They
times
not.
we look at what do we not have. Sometimes we have to look at, okay,
Absolutely.
what do we have that we can use and move. It happens
Yep.
in the studios all the time, and that's one thing I can say about the producers I work with, Cash and J guys like that. They'll just work with whatever they got. Some guys are coming like, man, I need I need this module, or I need
Uh,
this software, whatever. Man, we gonna make it with whatever. It might get made on the phone that day. You got to work with what you got. What resources? Max those resources out first. Max that out. Then you ask for something else. You know.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
uh-uh.
I got into it a little bit.
No, no. This is dope because I had the same conversation with another gentleman, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna bring him on briefly with you
Okay.
because he's on the West Coast.
Okay.
He's in LA, and he has produced for Neo. And like yourself, you a bad mama jammer when a mainstream artist feature you on their stuff.
Right.
So what I want to do, I think that this is a good point as we wind down.
Let's do it.
I want to introduce you to Raj Will. And
Okay.
like I said, Raj is on the West Coast. So Raj,
What's up?
what's
What's up?
cracking?
What it do?
What's
What
up,
it do?
brother? How you doing?
I'm great. How you feeling, man?
Oh man, I'm cooling.
Good,
So
good. I'm a little thrown off guard. I didn't know I was going to be on the show this morning, so I'm not in a proper environment for this. But I'm glad to be on board. Thank you, Lily Mae, for bringing me on board and making the connection.
yes, but Raj, Ro is Ro is the man. That's all I'm gonna say. He the man out here, such as
Appreciate it.
himself. And so I wanted to make this connection. I wanted you, Raj, to tell Ro about Beyond Average Sound and also the set live because that's something that we had a conversation about while I was out there.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, man. Basically Beyond Average Sound is my independent record label company, as well as a newly installed subscription service that we're going to be launching pretty
Mm.
soon. Um, I've been working with a couple of different business partners over the past 2 years, putting this whole plan together. I really like what you were saying about having an advisory board, because I actually have a board of directors for my record label, and we have weekly meetings every Monday. Talking about our strategy, our finances, our books, and how we're gonna move forward and really launch this thing and make some noise. We actually looked at a studio building this past weekend, so we're going to be getting a new facility, either
Mm.
in Pasadena or Hollywood. Um,
That's all.
so to say the least, Beyond Average Sound, it started as just me. I was producing a lot. I was doing a lot of my own artistry stuff. I rap, I produce, I engineer.
I love
And
that
with
name,
that,
by the way.
oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. And with that, I was able to become an independent contractor with all big three record labels, from a production and engineering standpoint. So I've engineered for Neo, Keith Sweat,
Mm.
JoJo. We got independent contracting situations with Warner Brothers, Universal Music, Sony Music. So we
Okay.
in the mix. And now it's just a matter of being able to elevate our brand and take everything to the next level. So that's
Right.
where
Right.
the set live comes into play. The set live is a live music and arts experience in which we have independent artists, R&B, hip hop, jazz, poets, and they all come together and we have a show and we perform live music. A lot of times with hip hop music, a lot of the shows that are done are just with a DJ, but the
Mm.
difference with our show is it's a live band. Every artist has to perform with a live band. So it just creates a different environment for the people, that started as just a way for me as an artist to now build my fan base because I was like, I don't want to do no pay to play shows. I don't want to have to deal with politics. So I'm gonna just save
Mhm.
my own bread and produce my own show, book my own artists, and make it to where I'm the host and I also perform, and I also got all my homies performing, and I got all the live band vibes going. So
I
it's
think that
win-win
makes
for
sense.
everybody. Yeah,
It always makes
win-win.
sense to do it yourself.
Exactly. So that's what I've been doing, man, over the past 2 or 3 years. And this year, 2020, has been the biggest year so far. Being able to be a featured artist with Columbus Short, featured artist with K
Mm.
Cola. I worked on JoJo's album that just launched under Warner Brother Records earlier this year. We
Okay.
filmed Set Live a couple of months ago at Dame Dash Studios, and I was able to
Oh yeah.
actually turn it into now a TV show.
Mhm.
So I've been working on that, and with the label and with the platform, the subscription plan that we about to be launching and stuff like that. So it's a lot going on, man, over here on the West Coast, and we just trying to piece it all together and make it
Man,
happen.
that all sounds dope, man. I always believe in going independent, and like we have a lot of platforms within our company. We do a lot of stuff internally. Like we realized years ago that the money we could spend that we would spend getting people to do some stuff on a regular, we could just buy the companies and stuff like that. That's kind of how we ended up with our own DJ crew, and we've been doing that for like 8 years now. and it ended up turning into a money making business as well. So and you know, and even recently we just created the Zaytoven Global, and me and you can definitely rap afterwards. We can exchange some content on those platforms, because that's a platform that we created. We didn't even create it to make money. We have it where artists can sell their music on there. It's a 30-70 split. If you want us to market it, it's 20-80. You don't even have to talk to anybody. It's completely online, you know, through the app. It's free. If you want to sell your music with somebody else, with the outside with the outside distributor, you can do that, or you can distribute with us, or you can give it away for free if you want to. So it's like we wanted to have something that we could control our releases. So, you know, I'm always looking for, you know, I heard you talking about some platforms too. I'm always interested in putting more platforms together and connecting stuff and networking it together. So definitely a pleasure to meet you.
Likewise.
So, guys, this is what it's about. This is what it's about. So, Raj, hold on backstage because we're about to have a party backstage. But I want to finish up with Ro. Look, Ro, tell
Come on, let's do it.
everybody where they can find you on IG, and then I want you to wait backstage because we're gonna have some behind the scenes fun for about 15 minutes.
Okay, come on, let's do
But
it.
let them know where they can find you on your IG.
My IG is Digital Dope, no spaces. You can follow my radio station at Digital Dope Radio on IG.
So the app, Digital
Yeah.
Dope.
Right. You type in Digital Dope either in the Play Store or in the App Store, you'll find us. You type in Zaytoven Global, you'll find us. So we're pretty much, you know, all covered there.
That's it. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for
Thank you.
everything. And we're gonna bring it back because what I envision is that between you, Raj, and myself, we are going to try to come up with a month-long segment on Thursday nights, my other show, All Things
Come
Authentic,
on.
because I think it's time for us to do artist development. And for those of you out there, like Rose said earlier, for those of you out there that are only looking at Instagram numbers and are only looking at Facebook numbers and are only looking at YouTube numbers, you have missed the whole boat. Because that ship of Zion then sailed. Because there are some of us out here who might not have the numbers, but we have the quality. And one
Yeah.
thing, my new philosophy is your quantification does not have anything on my
Yeah. And you
qualification.
can't base it off of that because and you don't want to base any career off of a platform or like another company. It's like, think about it. It's like we don't want to be based off of, are you a good artist
Mm-mm.
on, you know, just because of your Instagram? You know, good numbers on Instagram, of course, we all know it helps, but it's like
Mm-hmm.
you know, we don't want to miss it.
The quality, that
Right.
quality,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. Well, Ro, thank you so much. Like I said, hang on because I'm gonna
Thanks for
take
having
you
me.
backstage and we're gonna close out and we're about to have a party.
For sure.
All right, guys, it's prime time on Saturday. Don't forget, set your clocks because I'll be back at 3 p.m. with Tiffany Villarreal, and she was a member of 702. Get your name and number. I like your stilo. Once again, it's your girl Lily Mae, aka, and you've been listening to Prime Time with SENOJ on Saturday at 12 noon. You just heard from Roland Williams of Familiar Territory Records and Digital Dope Radio. And the other part of it is he the man with the plan. So if you know who Zaytoven is, and you know that they boys for real, and you know that they are business partners, and you know that they got all of these things going on, you better jump on the boat before you miss the destination. Have a great Saturday, everyone.